Whoops, sorry, I think I lost you there. So what I'm doing now is these are the speaker mounting bolts things for hold the speaker into the chassis. So we can just give those a quick spray and a clean. Doesn't have to be perfectly clean. It doesn't have to sparkle like it's new because it is a vintage radio. It's just nice to get off any grime that shouldn't be there, because grime does get dislodged vibrations. Excuse me. Can end up in all sorts of places. So I need to reassemble those. Reassemble those. Reassemble. Oh, always drop stuff. Doesn't matter how careful I am. Okay, I need to separate stuff I need to keep from the other stuff. Clamp, clamp, clamp. 4 of those. Right, so what have we got? What I like to try and do is match up the pairs of bolts, and then I can kind of work out what goes where and how and what size and with who, etc. That seems to go on there. You're on there. You look like one of those. That looks like something that went through there. Yep. Okay, so now I'll organise them. Got my little line up there of bolts and things. Time, I think, to start reassembling the cabinet. Right, we're going to get the cabinet. Okay, welcome back. So what I've done with the cabinet is I'd stripped everything out of it completely, giving it a... took it in the bath, well no, put it in the bath, warm soapy water, and just giving it a nice clean over. Could polish it up with a nice teacup or something, but actually it doesn't look too bad. So, job for today, or job next, is to start putting things back in. We're actually going to start with the dial glass. However, here it is. Now, I can't remember, but I can see 2 mounting bolts in there, so it's got to be 2 of these. Find the right size. Too big. Maybe it's those smaller ones. Spin it around, you might be able to see. Yeah. So all I'm doing is trying to find out which of these many bolts are the right ones. It is the right ones. Brilliant. Okay, so here is our lovely new and shiny dial plate. All I've done is I've cleaned front and back. I've got some new rubber to go around the outside. want to come off. I'm just going to put that in on there. The trick, it's tempting just to try and stretch it to get it on, but then you end up with lots of overhang. And actually, when it shrinks back, if you've cut it, it ends up being too short. So let's get that on. There it is. So I'm guessing it's going to go that way. Just put that in. Oh, beautiful. Oh. Let's get it right. And it goes. So I remember that it was held on by these bolts here. And you see, it's quite difficult to do it at an angle. So does it go that way? Yep, it goes that way. Look at that. So one, there's two on each side, and they are sided. There we go. With our bolt and washer. I'm just going to offer that up. Just going to come through and hold it there. And we can see that that fits in nicely. And then now, here's a tip. When you're doing this, I know it's tempting to, but don't crank it down. Don't keep going turn and turn. Feel where it bites. And that's all it needs. Okay, second side. Bolt and washer. That up again. The most unorthodox screwdrivering method ever here. There we go. And voila! Dial glass is in place. Looking good. Look at that. Yeah. Right. So with that in place, it's actually quite easy to work at that angle. Next thing is our speaker grill, which we're going to do it like this, aren't we? It's going to slide everywhere otherwise. Just goes in like that. Okay. Let's check the speaker. Ooh. It's holding. It's holding. Can't quite see in there, but need my speaker spider poker. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Tempted to let that dry a bit longer, but it's not the end of the world. So, almost tripped myself up then. Almost tripped myself up. What I'm going to do is get some new I want to be able to make it easy to pull the chassis in and out, ideally with some disconnects. No, I can't. Right. It can be really fiddly to solder that in place. So let's desolder from this side. Right, remember, positive is right when looking from the front. You remember that, please, audience. Come on. I've still got to go in and replace that. What am I saying? The wiring for the filament bulbs. Still got to do that. Don't let me forget. Okay. Sometimes there's just not enough solder on your iron to melt the existing stuff. There we go. There we go. Get out. Right. So before we forget, positive was which side? Right. There we go. Get you out of the way. So, speaker. So we look at the original speaker wire. It's not in very good shape. Time to replace, I think. There you go. So what we need is some speaker wire. I've got in my goodie bag. Pushback wire strangler. There we go. How much? Yeah. Let's look at the original length. Oh god, yeah. Ample. I have got just miles and miles of wire. Yeah. Cloth wire, insulated wire, wire made from bits from Mars, you name it, I've got it. Which is fine, yeah. Just collect wire. You never know when you need it. This is the speaker wire that I use in guitar amplifiers. It's 18 gauge, American wire gauge, if you work in those things. It's cloth covered, but the cloth is also dipped in wax, so it doesn't strand everywhere. It doesn't. Some of the cloth wire that you work with is awful, and you just push it back to expose the wire, and it's usually twisted as well, which makes everything so much easier. So behave yourself, come on. There we go. So, as you remember in electronics class, tin your ends before you do anything. As you can see, this is my highly technical setup here. There we go. And then we can go soldering. You see? Yeah. Let me give you a zoom in so you can see what we're doing. Here it is. So here's our terminal. Here's a wire. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and just put a right angle kink in it, and then wrap it round. So we've got a good mechanical connection there. We don't want the wire just held on by solder. We want good connection first, and then the solder just kind of fills in any gaps. Right. Sorry, same with this one. Still in focus. Keep moving things. Oh, rubbish. That way. Okay. Speaker actually looks quite good. So I'm just testing that I haven't done anything stupid. There we go. Good. So now I've got my speaker repaired and wired up and fixed. Next job is to tin the other ends. Do that now rather than later when it's more fiddly. And the job is done. Sorry. Tin. There we go. One speaker ready to go in. Cabinet. Here's our cabinet. Grill in. Straightish. Maybe straight once I lie it down. And then we're just going to put the speaker in now. And then it's just held on by these. I shall show you in a second once I've got them on. I'm not tightening down all the way because I want to move the speaker. Get it lined up nice and straight. Come on. Always one that fights you. Every time. And the final one, which I can't see. Here it is. Okay, with all four in place, the speaker is already lined up. Luck of the draw. Well, beginner's luck maybe. Who knows? And there we go. Oh. Get some lights in there so you can see. There we go. I've got these four mounting brackets holding the speaker in place. There's my speaker cable. Z. So what else have we got? These must be my two chassis bolts to hold that in place. And I've got two bolts that must be for the back panel. Right. Now, something I've seen online I want to share with you. So this is going to go in like so. Now this is our mains dropper, this green thing here, and it lets off a lot of heat. So much so that, as you can see on the top of the cabinet, quite faint on camera, but you get a crack there where the heat is actually causing the Bakelite to crack, and I don't want that to happen anymore. So what I've got up here is a bag of this is actually aluminium shielding tape that I use to shield guitar amplifiers from radio frequencies, which of course seems a bit silly in a radio, but it's also reflective as heat. So I'm going to put some here because there is in the back panel ventilation slot, so we just kind of want to get the heat to bounce back and then be drawn out. Also is the plan. So I think about there. Sorry if I keep knocking the camera with my knee. Angle you up a bit, might look a bit better. So here's our slice. Kind of like that, I think. I think this is going to work great. Now the beauty of this stuff is that no matter how wrinkly or crinkled it gets, it still sticks. So I'm just going to kind of there. Unravel it and kind of put it there. All you do is you get your credit card, and you give it